You know what? I don't think we've ever done a channel update. Ever. As it turns out, I've got a lot of subscribers, so thank you. It's probably my new glasses. Welcome back to the Skill Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 85 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you're new to the channel or not familiar with this show somehow after 84 episodes, this is where I take you through projects I'm working on or things that have passed by the bench or are on the bench. And here is something that's on the bench. It's a boat on a trailer. This is the new Traxx Spartan Sr. It is a self-righting, that's what SR stands for, and it's like a 36-inch long boat. It's probably the same number of squares, if I'm honest. It's 6S powered, and this is the worst time of year for a boat to be released in Canada. We got snow yesterday, so I won't be running this anytime soon, unfortunately, but it does look really cool. And it looks mega fast. I watched the promo video. I watched Greg's video over on RC Driver, and yeah, it's just awesome. One thing he didn't show, though, was that you can add the Traxx winch to the Traxx boat trailer. And then you can have a remote winching system to have your boat be placed back on the trailer, which I think is actually kind of cool, kind of fun. I haven't usually been much of a trailer guy, but I do respect the fact that Traxx has put this out so you can be that guy and have a trailer for your boat. It's very cool. There's a lot of really cool features about this boat. One of them is that it doesn't fit well on the bench. But I did customize it already with a Scale Builders Guild sticker. Look at this thing. This thing is so rad. I very much do like it. And there will be a full standalone video on this boat and trailer and what I mount it to in an upcoming, more spring-like day. But for now, looks darn good right here in front of me. Very cool that it's self-righting. Very cool that it's 6S. And then it'll go 50 miles per hour on the water, which is frightening for me because I don't want to lose it. I have to find a nice big open space with calm water. And being on Lake Ontario, that's not easy. I'm sure I'll find a spot. Anyway, thanks Traxx for sending this my way. We will definitely do a proper review. I mean, I don't know anything about boats, so I don't know how proper the review will be. But it'll be a review of a boat. Or at least a running of a boat. Or a sinking of a boat. On to the next thing. Next on the bench, a Ford freaking Ranger. Ford Ranger. Mazda B series. What I've started doing here is playing around with forms in Fusion 360 to create the rear fender flares. And this is the second iteration. Where's the first one? Here's the first one. It was just a longer version that went basically the length of the entire bed. But I was like, yeah, it doesn't look quite right, and it's too long and a little organic in the shapes. So I tried to correct some of those things, made it a shorter bed so you can still get to the gas door, gas tank door, fuel filler door. So you can still see the fuel filler door, and it kind of moves the fender flare around a little bit to be more in line with this, but I still have to move it forward even more. And it's still too much of a bulbous organic shape. It doesn't have the same sort of squared off edge that the front one has. So we'll probably be doing a V3, maybe even a V4, but I did want to share that I am doing some progress with this. And of course, with any new skill, you're gonna make mistakes. And I think that mistakes are good because it teaches you what not to do or how not to do something. This is how not to do it. It's not a waste of time, it's a learning process. So I feel a lot better about learning something about forms and how it works as opposed to, not doing it this way. Because, I could build this out of styrene in, probably the same amount of time I've spent trying to figure it out in forms, but I wouldn't have learned anything new. So that's today's mantra, I guess. Learn something new that scares you. This is still obviously very much a work in progress, but it's coming along and you can start to see what I'm going for. I think it's going to be a cool looking truck for sure. And now that I look at it, It almost seems like, you know what, actually that's not too bad. I think the width is good. All right, just much more work to be done on that part. What does this shape remind you of? For me, I don't know. I look at it, I see beluga whale. Put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I'd love to know what type of animal you think this is. And of course, if you're enjoying this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, although many of you have. Ring that notification bell so you can do all the things. All right, on to the next thing. Put you back where you belong. Hey, pretty lady. Hey, it's this again, the FMS FCX10. Many of you thought I was too harsh on this truck, and while I think I will do a proper follow-up video later on once I've had more time with it, I will get more into the details about why I made the review the way I made it in an upcoming episode of some other thing, probably just a follow-up video to this. But I've done some changes. You noticed in the review video that the front diff locker stopped working. That servo has been taken out. It was dead. So now it's just locked front diff. We can unlock the rear one if we want. So while this was a lemon out of the box, I now feel like it's functioning the way it's supposed to. I will take it back out and confirm all of that. I also made it way easier to take the body on and off by making a couple of very subtle modifications. But as you can see now, when you press down on that, it lifts right up quite easily. And then I removed all of the posts except one in the rear. So now it's just got, hey, all right. Just one big solid post back there, not those two that actually clip into the body. Those three rare earth magnets are plenty strong, and that's all you need back there. In the front, I did a subtle taper, and I'm not sure you can see that. You might be able to, but I did a subtle taper on the two posts that click into place. There's actually two sections where it clips in. So there's like a first higher setting and then a second lower setting. The lower setting is the one you want. The higher setting, I don't know why you need that. So we got rid of that. I just used my Proxxon sanding tool. I just made a gradual taper to that second click-in point. Now it goes on much easier. Magnet back there. Make sure your body isn't catching on the edges of the side of the sliders. Like it clearly was. And then just click that into place and you're done. Much easier now. So at least that's fixed. I also added some hubcaps too from some other truck to make it look a little better. So we'll get this out again, give it another shot, see if we managed to correct the problems that existed at the factory. Hopefully we did. All right, on to the next thing. Finally this week, you probably noticed that big yellow 6x6 that was sitting behind me just now. Well, now it's over here. This is a King Kong 6x6. I had to look it up. It's the CA30 ZISL 151 6x6 with metal chassis kit. Sent nostalgic father's birthday gift present. That's the AliExpress description anyway. I traded this for my Mercury Gladiator, and I traded that with my friend Richard, Turks and Jerps. So now I have a really cool 6x6 that I'm going to take mudding. It actually is a pretty cool model. Leaf springs, which we all know are the best things that have ever existed ever. It is more of a 12th scale than it is anything else, and I don't really know much about these trucks or even what it looks like underneath. I don't think I've ever officially actually turned it over. Richard, before I do that though, Richard, the livery here, this may be hard for you to read. It's Cyrillic writing. I don't really know how to read it, but I do know that it says worker and parasite, which is a gag from a Simpsons episode where that was East Germany's favorite cat and mouse team, and it was sort of like supposed to be Itchy and Scratchy, but it was worker and parasite, which is amazing in and of itself. But as you can see, oh, it's still got fresh Ohio mud all over it. That's fantastic. This does look really, really beefy. I can see he spared no expense on the servo. That's a Reedy 15 kilogram servo. But look at all these cool parts, man. This is awesome. Why did he trade me for the Gladiator? We will never know. Anyway, it does look really cool. I'm really excited to get this out and learn more about it. I'll have to do probably a running video or maybe a companion running video that will be featured on What's in the Bench on a future episode. But yeah, there's lots of really cool details. Like, look at all this stuff back here. That is rad as. I'm very impressed. And it's, oh man, look at all that flex. So much articulation. Full interior too, I might add. It's got all the bits in there. This looks really cool. I think the engine compartment opens. Yes, it does. There's magnets in there. Oh, and a 35 turn brushed motor from RC 4-wheel drive. Only the finest. But that is really nice. Thanks, Richard, for the trade. I definitely feel like I got the better deal. All right, so yeah, we'll feature that more heavily on an upcoming episode. I gotta find some mud, because this feels like a mud runner style truck, doesn't it? Very, very cool. Not changing the livery, because that's amazing. All right, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, we'll see you again next week. What's on the bench?